Welcome to Final Play Sports Wrap. I'm your host, Pete Lubar, and today we're talking Mountain West basketball. Week 16 is in the books, and we're going to start today in Fresno State, where the Fresno State basketball team hit rock bottom as 2 or 3, depending on report, players were suspended for allegedly gambling, including gambling on their own team. The team responded by losing to Air Force, who won their first game of the year. Congrats to the Falcons for getting off the schneid, and boo to Fresno State for both being terrible and losing institutional control. The Pac-12 deserves you. You and Utah State. Boise State got their best conference win of the year, beating New Mexico. 86-78. As Degenhart went ballistic with 32 points and 7 rebounds. Boise whipped the Lobos in every phase of the game. They opened up a 19-point lead in the second half after a relatively close back and forth first half. Boise was up 3 at half. Boise was very aggressive, got to the line a lot. They shot 32 free throws to 17 for the Lobos. Lobos were missing one of their key players. But nevertheless, Boise needed the win, went after it, built that 19-point lead, and got the win over first place New Mexico, narrowing New Mexico's lead over Utah State to 1 because Utah State beat San Diego State on Saturday, allowing them to keep within 1 of Lobos for San Diego State. Unfortunately, Magoon Guath, their 7-foot freshman, was injured in the contest and may be out for an extended period with a hyperextended knee. In all, for Boise, it was a very good week as they also edged Nevada by 1 point, which kept their at-large hopes alive for the NCAA tournament. And I think Lunardi right now has them sort of in that next 4 out. So they're still hanging around. They've got a chance. Good win for them. They're going to have to win against Utah State again this week. If they can pull that off, then they're probably going to be right on that cut line for the NCAA tournament. And if they win a couple games in the Mountain West tournament, they probably will get in. So a good week for Boise. CSU also kept pace. They got a much-needed win in Las Vegas. Nick Clifford led the Rams with 14 points and 14 rebounds. So good effort for the Rams. If we now look at the Mountain West standings, New Mexico now at 14-2, Utah State 1 behind. New Mexico still has games at Nevada and at San Diego State. They have Air Force at home, and then they finish their season with Nevada. So New Mexico's still got a relatively rough schedule. Utah State still has Colorado State on the road, and they play Boise State. So they also have a couple of tough games left on the road, and so we're going to see what happens with that. But the top 5 positions in the Mountain West are all but settled here for the Mountain West tournament. You have New Mexico, Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Boise State, and then the teams that will be in the play-in will be UNLV, Nevada, San Jose State, Wyoming Air Force, and Fresno State. I don't imagine Fresno State can beat anyone at this point. Air Force could scare someone, but once again, we'll see what happens with all that. The team that might be worried the most is New Mexico, knowing they have to play either San Jose State or Wyoming, teams they've struggled with this year, even though they're 3-1 or 3-1 against those teams. Upcoming games this week, we've got UNM at San Diego State on Tuesday evening. That should be an excellent game, although Magoon Guath is off for San Diego State tonight. And then we've got Utah State at Boise tomorrow night, and Utah State then plays at CSU on Saturday. So a couple of really interesting games. From a bracketology standpoint, New Mexico is the highest seed right now in the Mountain West. They are an 8 seed, which is really interesting because last week they were a 9 seed and they lost, but somehow they moved up in the Mountain West or in the NCAA bracket according to Lunardi. Utah State is a 9 seed, and San Diego State is a 10 seed. So Boise, as I mentioned, who had a good week, could move back into bubble contention with a win over Utah State. So short, sweet update this week. We're getting down to the final 2 weeks left in the season before the tournament, and it's going to be exciting. So stay tuned. Please subscribe to my YouTube page if you want to. It costs you nothing, and it helps me out. And if you want to reach me, you can reach me at the contact information that follows this video. Thanks, and have a great day.